we've had a look at the penetrations, we've had a look at the perimeter stage 1. Now this is where, after the stage 1 perimeter is carried out, the carpenters come along and they stand their frames. So we're at a site now that has just had the frames stood externally, and we want to have a look around. We want to first of all have a look around and see exactly what happens after the carpenters stand their frames. Some of the areas we need to look out for. So first of all, we come in internal corners. We've just seen how they're applied. This is a non-folding one. So again, that's nice. You know, once the bricks are installed to this perimeter, we'll have a nice and easy installation of the stage 2. Again, we've come across the external corner now. Now, very neat installation here with glued and tape. Again, once the bricks are installed, this will be a nice easy fit to the brickwork. So it'll just be a nice fold, easy fit to the brickwork. So again, the neater you are in stage 1, the easier it's going to be to carry out the installation for stage 2 to fit off to the brickwork. And as we move around the slab or around the perimeter, we do find we are in Queensland, so we've got some cyclone rods. So these are affixed to the slab and they pull down the roof. So they essentially hold the framework to the roof and hold everything together structurally. So these are a little bit of an issue. They're not in the perimeter at stage 1, they put them in as they're doing the frames. So when we encounter these, we need to be careful to correctly install the stage 2 perimeter. Once the bricks have gone in, we'll need to cut, wrap and tie into the perimeter these cyclone rods. Okay, now we're coming around the slab perimeter to some of the penetrations that are protruding the slab perimeter and going through our perimeter barrier. So as you can see, these have been nicely individually wrapped and tied in together. And what we do see here is a notching of the frame, and at the back of the frame we've got some cordon that is compressed to the slab edge, but not much. So I feel that we will have enough. There's compression through this area, and we've also got these pipes individually wrapped, and these will tie into our perimeter. Once the bricks are installed, when we're doing our stage 2, we can take another look at this just to make sure that we're completely happy with it. Okay, so as we make our way around the perimeter to carry out our inspection, we come across some other areas of product interference. So this steel post obviously wasn't here when we installed the cordon, and it looks like they've obviously installed the steel post and compressed our cordon to the slab edge. That's great, we've got compression, but now we have the issue of having to try and get our cordon up to a level to get it on top of the brickwork once that's installed. So this is going to take some thinking. So we need to get our thinking cap on again and work out how to tackle this area. So what we'll need to do in this situation is join the cordon. So we're going to have to add an extra piece of cordon through this section to pull up and over the brickwork once it's installed. So I would suggest overlapping by 100 millimeters. We might get enough in this area, so we're probably starting from about here and extend it a couple of meters so that we can get our cordon up and over the first course of brickwork. So it's a repair that we'll have to carry out prior to the stage 2 cordon termite barrier installation. So we've got a plumbing penetration. It looks like a stack pipe that would be going to the second floor, I'd assume. This has been tied into our stage 1 perimeter and nicely cable tied nice and tightly. The lip has been formed and we've got a cable tie around the base of that to make sure that our cordon is compressed firmly around the pipe. When the bricks are installed, we'll have a neat installation of cordon. We might need to use a little bit more cordon through this area just to get a overlap of 100 millimeters in all areas. And once the brickwork's installed, we'll be able to attach our cordon neatly to the brickwork. Okay, so we'll continue on around the perimeter, and again, we come across some penetrations in the perimeter. Nicely wrapped. We've got a nice and snug fit around the actual penetration point. The frame's been notched and enough frame's been left so that it compresses our cordon to the slab. So we've got a nice compressed area of cordon there, so any termites that are trying to penetrate from the cavity, they can't get into this area, they can't get in onto the frame. We've got plenty of compression there to complete our termite barrier. Okay, so this is a good example of a plumbing penetration or a service penetration that's gone through the perimeter or through our perimeter barrier that has been protected prior to the installation of the timber frames. So it's been wrapped and the perimeter barrier has been installed neatly and compressed tightly around that particular penetration and cable tied in place. So you can see termites trying to enter through the cavity, get to that point, and they can't get through. So very important that we make sure that we are attending to any service penetration through the perimeter and protecting them correctly. These are very vulnerable points of entry for termites. They will track their way around the cavity till they find an entry point and they'll come through. So if these aren't protected, you've got a very high chance, a very high likelihood of termites penetrating through those areas.